Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again, going to be continuing our single-player playthrough. So, just getting on into it here. If you may remember last time, we had kind of changed the colors of this building. We got the train rail connected up as well so that we have power and the ability of flight with our hover pack here. I almost forgot the name of it. Well, I did. But yeah. So also we decided that we were going to be putting the whatchamacallums. Sorry, brain's not working. The foundries. There we go. We were going to put the foundries in here. And I think I have decided that I am going to put the foundries. I'm going to split them up between each building, and then we'll swap the materials back and forth. Like, say, this side has copper, and this side has iron, and then we just push iron that way and copper that way, and then they both produce ingots, and then we send all the ingots to this side. That way we can do that. Also, yeah, so today's plan is to do that, plus we need to put down smelters. We need to put down miners for our ore. To get our ore in here. So we're going to choose the train stations that we're going to be housing the ore. Like this inner one could be copper, and this inner one over here could be iron, which I think is what we're going to do. Then we'll send the iron and the copper up to then be distributed amongst our foundries. There we go. Sorry, a little bit slow today. Alright. So we need to find at least 1,575 of each of those in order to produce 3,150 ingots, which is going to go in 12.6 smelters. And then we need to do 6,300 wire per minute, which is going to be 84, and then 2,100, which is going to be 28. For cable. So we're going to do that. I need to redesign the towers as well at some point. The towers are nice, but they're too small, I think. I think they need to be a bit bigger and a bit more fitting with the rest of the tower. So I need to redesign them a little, just a little bit, you know, so that they fit better. Anyway, so let's say... So iron ore, I don't have the color codes in front of me. Yes, I do. I immediately contradicted myself there. I'm going to go edit, go find, iron, find. Ah, there it is. Alright, iron ore 1. Yeah, I've got all the color codes. Oops. I've got all the color codes saved on a text document, so that I can reference them at any point. Can't remember where I got these color codes, but yeah, I have a bunch of them for just about everything in the game. Well, at least up until 1.0. So yeah, I'm going to select that color. So there we go. Alrighty. Go ahead and paint these. I have to leave there for a moment. Okay. So we're going to go iron ore. We're going to go... Let's see. How should we do this? It should be wire, cable, WC. Yeah, wire, cable... Or we should do it this way. Yeah. Wire, cable, iron ore. Import. I can spell import. There we go. Control C. Because I'm going to then go over here and we're going to go. Yeah. Control V. Oh, wait. I'm just going to do it this way. Cable. cable factory export. Be nice if I could do like the copper color as a secondary. Very nice. Alright, and then we need copper ore. So Control C that. Come here. Control V. Oh, no, that's the secondary. Control V. Yep. And then Control C. Control V. There we go. There's our copper ore. So that way we can import copper and iron ore in here if we need to. Oops. Oh, man. We'll have to go over here and fix that. My bad. That's right, though. We're also going to have a mine at some point here where we can pick up the rest of that coal. So that's the whole point. Okay. Here. Control V. This is going to be copper ore import. Okay. And then this one's going to be wire factory. Export. Have an efficient day. Thank you. E-train station. Okay. So now that we have those all properly named, we do need to paint them. Yeah, that's the thing, is how do you paint? I might have the color codes for wire. There it is. Control C. Edit. Control V. And I guess with this we go like... Oh, I have that one as well. Okay. Yeah, that works. Then what we do with this is we go this, this, and then like that. That'll be our cable train station color. I think that'll work out pretty well, to be honest. Like that. Yeah. Like a black and like an orange. Okay. We could just do black and black, but yeah, if I could use the other finishes as like a secondary, or you could edit, if you could edit these, that would be really nice to be able to add colors to them. That would be incredibly nice. Or you could paint, like you say, take this copper color. You could take one of these finishes. You could edit the finish and change the actual color of it, and then paint that in whatever color you like. You know, add a custom one for that. That'd be pretty nice. I don't know what to do about these corners. Anyway. So I guess we'll get around to placing the miners for all of the ore. We're not going to be picking up that one unless we absolutely need it. So I guess we'll do iron first. So we need to go and place down the different miners to collect all the different iron ores in the area. We might have to go a little bit further, and we're going to have to design the routes that they're going to need to take. And also, I need to put supports. I need to design supports for this as well, because obviously that's not going to work. Wait, don't I have supports for stuff like this? I think I do, actually. So many blueprints. I tried to organize them. If I could organize them in file format, into folders, that'd be nice. Maybe I can, and I just need to go and do it. Because, yeah, if I try to do it in-game, it just refuses. It either outright refuses it, or it puts it in there, and then when I save and reload the game, it then puts, like, the only thing that's stuck in this bridges category is this one. That's it. All the rest of them have not stuck there. Make a bridge support. Ooh, let's use these. Yeah, I think. Or did we? Is there a bigger one? Like those would be nice, but they're not that big though. I'm thinking maybe we use. That's for bridges. Whoops. One of these has got to be big enough, right? I know I saved it. Top. Deck on. Ooh. Oh, these look nice. It's like, yeah, if we could get these in place, that would be really, really nice. So I think it's a 3x3, isn't it? Yeah. So we have to basically delete this. Oh no, it's a 3x3. Crap. No, that won't work. If I could design a 2x2 version, that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, let's design a 2x2 version without the top portion, so we don't have to delete stuff. Yeah, that'll be nice. Alrighty, I think that'll go ahead and do us there. So we've got the support saved and placed underneath the building here. Actually, I had to place these around a few times to try and figure out where I wanted them. I think I'm happy with this arrangement. So we got a support here in this corner, support here in this corner, the support around the edge of this, and then we've got one here in the middle. And I think we're pretty good. That looks good. So we'll leave that like that then, and I also put railings on these as well, trying to figure out where I wanted my railings. Yeah, I got my railings in place. So we can go ahead and now that we've got the supports and we know where the supports are going, now we can finally do the miner stuff. In both, in both respects, the smaller stuff as well as the actual mine. I'm kidding. All right. So let's place down our miners at each of the nodes that we need, and we'll see if we need to bring in any ores as well. See, 1,500. How much did I need? Let's say it's 1,600. 1,600 divided by 2. Okay, so there's gonna be at least 3 belts there. Coming in. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit tight. Okay. So logistics. Yeah, we're gonna throw down. Have to move that even further. Hopefully there's not a support here. If there is, we're gonna have to move these. Nope, there's not a support here. We're right next to... No, we're not. Well, we're close to one. It's fine. But yeah, that works there. We'll go mark 5 belts. Yeah, we may not get to the actual putting down of the foundries today because we need to get the raw resources coming in first, and then we can worry about that. So iron. There it is. Just pulling my color codes once more. So if you want to see, you can see the color codes I'm using. So that's like iron there. That's like iron ore, and then got this one as well. We'll paint all of our belts this color. Yeah, so it's in the back there. And since there's going to be 3 belts, I think we're going to have to bring in... We'll bring in one to go to this particular, like right in the middle. Right here, probably. Because more than likely, we're going to need that. Now the belts. Goes there. At least it fits right on in there, so... No complaints from me. Yeah, how much iron ore are we going to be filtering around? 3 belts probably, right? Yeah, because we need to put it into... That is going to be interesting. Okay, so we won't transfer everything over then? So we have the 2 belts coming in here, that can grab these 2. And then... Yeah, we'll have this one bring in 1. We might see if we could bring in a second belt to try and fill. This is just going to be... It's going to be annoying, I think. I'll put a belt there. I don't know about the lift, though. Wait. If I put the lift back like this, put it there instead, then we can go that, right? And then have the belt. No. We want it like this. Yeah, and then we have the belt like this. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it'll work. And then we still have our available to pull one belt from there, and then 2 belts from here. So then it's still then it's like, okay, yeah, we can pull the 1 belt from the middle of the line, and then these 2 can have the rest. Something like that. That seems like a balance of some kind. Alright, so where's all of our... Okay, so there's all of our floor holes. We'll do iron first, and then we'll do copper afterwards. But we're going to have belts running along the bottom here. Now that I've got my supports in place, now I know where to run all my belts. That's why I needed to get the supports in place first. Was so that I knew where to run the belts, so I didn't put my supports and have to delete belts and move stuff around. So, yep, let's get our stuff for our miners and go and place them down for all of our iron. Okay, we have the iron coming in so far, which has taken me literally like 2 hours to set up all the belts and stuff. Crazy. But, yep, we've got the iron coming in here. Train stations are getting full. We're actually bringing in more than we need. So what I did was I went ahead with the 1600 number, that we could bring in a little bit more than we needed. Just to see what it'd do. Because it's close enough, 25 more is close enough. So we did 1600, and then we've got 2 piers, so we're going to do minus 1200, which is 400. And then we got 400 minus a normal, which is 300, so we have 100 there, and we have an in pier, so 150. So, yeah, if we do 1200 plus 300, that's 1500. 1500 plus 150, that's 1650. And then we do the 1650 minus the 1575 that we need, so we're bringing in 75 more than we needed. Just in case we wanted to up this a little bit, we can still do that with what we're bringing in. So over here we've got the structures. This is where the 300 and the 15, the 300 and the 150 are being combined into 450. So we've got a 450 belt here, and then we've got coming in on this side we've got the 600, which this one's a pier node. So the ones claimed, you can see we've got the impure plus the normal plus the pier plus the pier. And then we've got that 100, that impure there that we've got a support built over the top, so I don't really care about that one. And then we've got that being all brought in underneath the train station, or the train line supports. Had to go around the rock here to go into here, but that brought them together to make it a little bit easier anyway. So the 450 is actually going into the center train station, so we've got these two right here. These two belts are actually 600 each, so that's 1200 going into the train station at the very beginning, and then the 150 being added midway through, or a little over midway through. And on this side we've got the other 600. I got power running along the sides of these because putting in these frame pillars gives you a point to snap to for this, so you don't have to put down poles if you don't want to. You can run power directly on the sides of these, which actually looks pretty darn nice. But yeah, we've got the 600 coming in here as well on this side. So now that we've got the iron done, I'm going to go ahead and do the copper, and I'll show you kind of how I was doing it. So again, we're going to start off with our 1600, and then we're going to go to the map. We might need to bring in copper, I'm not sure, or bring in copper from a decent distance away, because over here we've got a normal, and a normal. That's 900 there. So we'll probably have to bring that in. We've got a pure copper over here. We've got a pure copper here. And we've got a normal and an impure here, so we could do the exact same thing. These two pure ones I'm going to go ahead and take. Let's go ahead and get that copper. So yeah, this one over here is actually not that much further away. It's just over here, but we'll have to go around the rock. Because I actually want it to join up with this one. Probably. We'll have it join up on the opposite side. Have it join on this side so we don't have to go underneath the belt in order to get it over to the copper, because the copper is on the opposite side of the complex. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll take from this, vertical that. So basically, if you have an end goal, the best thing to do if you want these belts to stay straight and nice and clean and level and all that stuff without having to run, because obviously the easiest way we could do this is run a belt from our miner. Let's see, it connects from there. We could run a miner up like this and then go like this, just go along the ground, and then maybe we do like a lift to get it up to where we need it, and then from there, then we can run it along the ceiling if we like. I mean, it's not bad. It's easy. It's, if you like to run it that way. I don't like to run my belts that way. I like to run my belts of like nice, clean stuff. So if I have an end goal and I have a grid already set up, essentially, which is what this grid is. This is not part of the world grid, by the way, so you can see how much it's, let's see, there's the world grid. Oh, ran out of power. Put that on default. So this is the world grid here. And yeah, you can get a lot of benefits from going off of the world grid, just holding control and for all your factories. But then your factories are always stuck at a certain angle, and a lot of the times they don't work with the terrain that way. Because the terrain is not, the way the cliffs are and the way the terrain runs is not on the world grid, obviously. So the world grid is just for easy setup if you want to link specifically two factories together on the same grid that are a decent distance away. You don't have to run foundations in order to make sure they stay on the same grid. which is pretty nice. But I'm running with. I like to not have it on the world grid. I like the challenge of trying to merge two grids together, which is pretty fun. But yeah, so. But yeah, since I have an end goal, I have my grid. I'm going to go ahead and put down a foundation underneath it. Let's say here and here, and we'll put one here as well. Something similar to that. It doesn't have to be exact. But then I'm trying to find this, so I'm like, okay, I'll pull this. And I want to connect to the middle portion of it here. I'm not going to do this for this one specifically because I already have a grid for this. But this is basically how you do that, though. Let's say I put it right there. That's fine. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my logistics. And I'm going to put down one of these stackable conveyor poles. That's how I get the pillar. Let's remove that. But that's how I get this pillar, those pillars for supports and stuff. And you can put them down as frequently or as infrequently as you like. Just whatever suits your fancy. If you want to go every foundation or every 2 foundations for supports, then you can absolutely do that. Or you can go roughly max distance, which is what I try to do. Just depends on how far the distance between, to try and even it all out. So I'll go usually like 3 or 4 foundations. But if it's a really long distance, then I'll go 5, because that's roughly the max that the belt's willing to go before it needs a connection point. So yeah, with this though, then I'll go ahead and put my stack conveyor pole right next to it on my foundation and go, okay, that's a bit of a distance. That is too high. So I'm going to remove my thing, and I'm going to go ahead and put down, it's a vertical that. I'm not sure if it looked like a 1 meter. Just going to remove that top one, so now we're 1 meter below this one, because it was too high. There we go. I thought I landed up on the cliff, so I pulled out my build menu, and then it's like, nope, didn't quite make it. Then I'm going to go put that there. And you can see that this is exactly the same height. So now that we've got our conveyor pole at the exact same height, we're going to take out our foundation, our 4 meter. So you want to do this when you're doing the foundations. You either want to do a 2 meter or 4 meter. Try to stay away from a 1 meter as much as possible, because these conveyor poles, when doing this method, these conveyor poles are in 2 meter increments. So if you do a 1 meter, you're going to end up with some weirdness going on. Plus, if you want to run multiple belts in a stack, you can always use these as well. So, but yeah, they're in 2 meter increments, so definitely stick to that. So I'm going to stick to a 4 meter here, just for ease of running it. And then I'm going to run, now that I know my height and my position, then I'm going to run it along here with the zoot mode, and run it to where I need to either make a turn, like a 90-degree corner, or if I need to run it straight, that kind of stuff. So it just makes it for ease of access. It's not the fastest method of doing this type of stuff, but it's definitely keeps things nice and easy to kind of keep track of, at least for me anyway. But yeah, since I've already got that, I don't have to do this, obviously. For this particular belt, I don't have to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a thing right here, and I don't have to run power because I've already ran power down one side of this, so I don't have to worry about it. But I am going to put a ceiling mount there. We will have to go underneath or around this belt, whichever. But we definitely want to put it on this side because we don't want to run into supports or do all kinds of craziness. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Ugh, useless. Useless and ugly. No, it's not useless. It is ugly though. But yeah, if I go from my support I already got here, I go up 4 meter, you can see this is exactly where I need to put this. So I want to put a support there. I'm not going to put the belt in right now. I'm going to get my thing going first. Get my supports all in place, and then I'll run the belt. But I can show you on this specific one. So we'll put a support there. Let's see. I might put a support right here. And then when I run it, it should be a 2 meter. Yeah. So that is exact where I need that. Okay. Since I already had the support there, just run it. But then there is my copper node right there, so I need to keep moving at this height. You can change heights with these, but it's best to try and stay at the height that you started with. But if you can't stay with that height because of like extreme inclinations of either cliffs or hills or whatnot, obviously you can put in lifts. Lifts are definitely the better way rather than trying to do slopes. Because slopes are a lot harder to line up those frame pillars with. So if you do lifts, then that's pretty easy. But it looks like our miner is going to be pretty close to the height that we're going to need here. So you want to try to get the closest foundation. Obviously, you could nudge this over if you like. Which I generally don't put that much effort into it, because it's not really necessary in my view, so I just do this. Because it's always going to be off anyway, so might as well just leave it off rather than trying to get it the closest I can. But once I get my foundation, now I know exactly where I need to point my miner. So I'm going to point my miner directly at this foundation, the closest one that's to the center, roughly. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these down like that. And then if it's high enough, I'll put in a lift, which it does look like it is. So we're going to put in a lift like that. And then we're going to not remove that. We're going to take our foundation and go down like here. And because that works out so perfectly, I'm actually going to remove this lift. Or remove that stacker. And we're going to put in a 2-meter foundation. And we have a little bit more distance between here. And we're going to put in our lift. Now, because lifts float off of the floor, usually, unless you want to raise the floor, which you could do. Too much effort, though. Too much effort. Go to architecture. We'll grab ourselves a small frame pillar and put it up like that. And then we're going to go ahead and connect this belt. Now, usually you'll have to remove ore in order to get access to these. Sometimes you don't, though. But if you do, you can just throw your ore into here. It's a good way to test if the belt's working as well. But we're going to overclock it while we're here, so I don't forget. But 600. And obviously I need to go over to my copper ore coloring, because now we're doing copper. And then copper ore. Let's see. Control V. So this is the colors I use. And I'll use shiny just because it's a metal. Yeah. And I don't know why my game lags when I try to paint belts. It's very strange. That didn't used to happen before 1.0, and then 1.0 came out, and now all my game lags every time I try to paint a belt, which is very weird. But yeah, then for the 90-degree corner, we're going to go... So you go to the center of wherever your belt is going to be, which actually we should probably remember that our center isn't here, it's actually here. So let's go back this way. Unless you want to have a little bit of an S-bend in your foundation, or in your belt. We're just going to offset it, which is fine. So we're going to go 1, 2, because that's where our belt actually is. So the iron belt is here, that we have the iron ore belt. So we'll put the next belt next to it. Like that. That's the reason I was going over that way. But our belt that comes in here comes in along the center of the foundation. So we'll go 1, 2. And then we're going to rotate 90 degrees from here, from the center. Go 1, 2. And you don't have to do this anymore with the straight belt. Obviously, I could just do... So you just have to do this and then over to this. That was the old way. But with the new belt system, the straight belt system, you can actually just do this and it'll work. But I like the old way, plus I like to have the supports in place, so I'll do that. Doesn't really matter, though. Anymore, anyway. We're just going to paint the belt as we go. And then, okay, from that support to this support, we'll see what the center is. But usually I'll go 1. Let's check that off for that mode. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 is where we'll put that, and we'll see. Oops. Let's see if that works. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Oh, that works out perfect. Okay, and that is the max distance you can put belts, really. As you can see here. Actually, no, it's 6. Sorry, 6 is the max. Never mind. Don't listen to me. That. Do that. That. And we're going to do that. Sweet. Alrighty, so now that we've got that belt in place and it goes all the way down, now we're going to go ahead and paint it, because if you put the other stuff in before, you won't be able to paint it. So you might want to paint it beforehand, which we have done there. Alright. And the other cool thing is what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these up temporarily. If you start with one of these, you'll be able to easily put this down, but you can go from your start position as well. It doesn't matter which. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do... Let's get over close to it. I'm holding control right now. And we're going to find the point where it goes like that. And then I'm going to have it on zoop mode. I'm going to click. I'm going to let go of control, obviously. And then I'm going to drag over to this point. Okay, so then what we're going to do is from this point, in order to get this corner correct, we're going to go on this side of it. And we're going to go right where the belt goes there. Put that one there. Delete this one. Whoops. Fall off of fall off of it twice. And then pull it around there. And there we go. Now we've got our corner. It doesn't look particularly good, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just not going to care. I'm just going to go with this. I'm just going to drag this along. And then we're going to go along here. See if we could try to match that other once we get to this point here, so that it looks nice and neat. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and go, let's see, just trying to think of the best way I could make this work. Oh, here we go, do this. So go from this side here, and then go with that one. And there we go. And that perfectly matches. As you can see there, I thought the height was off there too. I was like, what the heck? And then it's just like, no, it's just these ends are slightly higher. So, but that matches that up, and then we can just drag this along, and it looks all nice and neat. And then go all the way along, and there we go. So now that we've got that placed, you could do either the foundations or that step. It doesn't really matter which one you do first. But then we're going to go ahead and remove this, because we don't need it anymore. Remove those two, because we don't need them anymore. And what I'm going to do, now you can see that this support is here. I'm going to go ahead and autosave flag. Pull that up to there. And that one's already there. But then what you're going to do is you're going to remove all the excess foundations, but not the one that your belt stacker is on. You're going to leave that one there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull the foundation down like this. And now you can remove them. Just pull it down to where this sticks out of the ground. And you can see that, well, this sticks out of the ground, but up here it's got the rocks in it. And what you're going to do is you're going to do it in 4 meter, 2 meter foundations. Don't go smaller than 2 meter. Otherwise you're going to mess up the top, unless you don't really care if it messes up the top or not. Me personally, though, I'm going to go with the 2 meter. I'm going to say, yeah, that's good. But then we're going to take our conveyor stacker, go 1, 2, because we're off to the side. That perfectly matches up. If you do a 1 meter, it'll mess up between here and here. But I guess it's not really all that noticeable, so it doesn't really matter. It just depends on how you want it to look. Go here. And that looks pretty good, actually, so I think I'm going to leave that one like that. One, two. And was there a reason that I did it this high, or can I go... I can go down much further. And I might even go down even further than that. Maybe even further than that. There we go. That is sticking out, so we'll do that with a 4 meter instead. There we go. Yeah. Gives it a nice support. Okay. So now that we got that, I'm going to do this with Mark IIs, because the Mark IIs got that little... They got that little panel on them with the 4 bolts that makes it look like it's bolted to whatever it's on. So we're going to use 2 meter there. So since it's already, we're going to use Mark IIs there. And since it's already Mark II, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. Go down to here, so that it doesn't clip in with the lift. And then we're just going to drag that down. You could put these anywhere along here that you like. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go closest to where the supports are, because that's what I do with the poles anyway. So it's like, yeah, that's pretty good. But you want to stick to where the two frame pillar supports come into place, where they come together, so that it looks like. Because if you go here, you can see it's floating. It'll go there. You can place it there, but it'll float, and it doesn't look good. So, at least in my view, doesn't look good. I'll go to there and makes it look, because I had that panel there, or this frame pillar support there, I was able to snap onto it, and it still looks like it's bolted right onto the side of the lift. And I go from there to there, and this is already overclocked, so it's immediately going to start pumping in that stuff. Now, of course, I don't have this where it's going yet, but yeah, that's pretty much that. So then we just got to do that to the rest of what we need in order to bring those belts in, so that we can then get them up to the train station. Alrighty then, doesn't look like we're going to get to our foundries today, but we can get to them next time because we have all the ores that we need. So, with this last miner here, which is doing 600, another pier node, is bringing in bringing the last 600 that we needed in order to make this happen. I haven't got it connected to the train station yet. I'll have to do that real quick. But yeah, with these though, there's 3 pier nodes in this area, and you know what I could do is that is also a pier node for iron. It's like I could get rid of the other 2 miners and do this one instead, but it is what it is. We'll just leave it, and if we need more, then we know where there's more. So yeah, let's bring this copper over to that point right there, and then we'll have literally 1,800 coming in. So get that done real quick. Alrighty, got that hooked up to the train station. I completely forgot, to be honest. But yeah, we got that one, this one, of course the one we did over there, which took up all of our time. But I wanted to show you guys kind of how I was doing those. I don't know, maybe you could use that method or come up with your own method based off of that one if you like. I don't know, doesn't really bother me any. But yeah, that's connected. Okay. Alright, so we should be connected to our train station here. For some reason, the middle one isn't working. Oh, maybe it's because everything's full? Yeah, I'd say because all the train stations are full. That would make sense. Alright, cool. Well, with that, though, I do believe that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. So next time, we will definitely be getting on with the foundries next time, putting the foundries up there on both of these buildings. We're going to try to split them in half. Yeah, and because we're bringing in more iron and copper than we need, I might up these numbers just a little bit, so we're not working with exact numbers. Might up it to like 14 foundries, and then we'll produce there. And there's quite a lot of wire and copper as well, more than what we need to be produced, but we're probably going to need stuff in the future for Phase 5 anyway, so... But anyway, though, like I was saying with that, that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory, so, yeah, I do hope you enjoyed! Oh, and before you go, I would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see here. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.